Welcome to today's webinar. Appreciate everyone taking time to join. We will be posting this webinar on YouTube, so you'll be able to watch it there if you're not able to watch the whole webinar during today's session. So please ask questions in the chat, and we will. I'll be able to answer them live and in person. I'm just testing the audio here. Give me 1 second. Okay, great. It sounds like it's working. Okay. So today's session, we're going to be discussing the difference between a rollover as business startup and a self-directed solo 401k. So the topics that we're going to go through here are the purpose, the eligibility, the structure, loans, and then at the end, how you can find out more information about your situation and get started. So first off, in terms of purpose, a ROBS 401k, it's also called a rollover as business startup. It's really for entrepreneurs who want to be able to use their retirement money to start or buy a business or expand an existing business. And one of the main advantages of the rollover as business startup is that the individual is able to use the money without having to pay taxes or penalties. So a solo 401k, on the other hand, the purpose there is not so much business financing, although I'll talk about one exception in a moment, but it's really for individuals who are self-employed. They have an owner-only business, meaning they don't have any full-time W-2 employees working for them. And the individual might be looking to do different things. It could be to take a 401k loan. It could be to invest in alternative investments with checkbook control, whether that's real estate, whether that's precious metals or notes, just to give a few common examples. Or it could be to really maximize the money that's going into their 401k by making pre-tax contributions, Roth contributions, or even voluntary after-tax contributions. They also can take a loan, a solo 401k. Our solo 401k allows for a 401k participant loan. So some people will use that money actually for business financing. If you're going to start a business where it's just you and you need less than 50% of the balance, not to exceed $50,000. So if you got $100,000 in your IRA, you could roll it over to a solo 401k and take a $50,000 loan. So it can be used for business financing to that degree. But really, that's not the purpose for a lot of people. A lot of people are looking to set up a solo 401k for the other reasons that I mentioned. So just to summarize here with the chart at the bottom of the screen, you've got ROBS 401k plans are for goods or services businesses like franchise. It doesn't have to be a franchise, or even a real estate operating company. And we did a webinar last week on real estate operating companies. So if you want to learn more about that, check out the videos on our page. Solo 401k, on the other hand, that's really for investing. It's not for business financing. So that's alternative investing like real estate, notes, metals, etc. Taking a loan or maximizing those contributions. So again, thanks everyone for joining. We had a few more people come in. And so please ask questions in the chat. I'll be answering them here right in the webinar. In terms of eligibility, with a ROBS 401k, you have to have money that you can roll over. So it's got to be money that's in maybe a former employer plan or a non-Roth IRA. You have to work in the business. So it's really for business financing. It's not just for investing. And the business that you are going to be working in needs to be an operating company. So it's got to be providing goods or services like a restaurant or maybe a shoe store, or an Amazon business, or a real estate operating company, where you are not just passively investing in real estate, you might be developing real estate or managing real estate. And with the ROBS 401k, that business can have employees. So a ROBS 401k is very popular in the franchise space. So you might have a Jimmy John's franchise with a bunch of employees, and that's okay. That's what it's designed for. Whereas with the solo 401k, when we talk about eligibility, we always talk about how it's really for self-employed owner-only businesses. Now, you could have a spouse, you could have a partner, but you can't have any full-time W-2 employees. So full-time is going to be a W-2. So contractors are not going to stop you. Having a contractor is not going to stop you if you got a 1099 independent contractor. But you can't have W-2 employees who work 1,000 hours or more a year, or 500 hours or more in 3 consecutive years. The 500-hour rule is a new rule that's going to be that's going to start in 2021. So that came in as part of the Secure Act, and we did a presentation on the Secure Act. And if you want to know more about that, check out our video page, and you can watch that video. So structure. With the ROBS 401k, there are very specific requirements that you have to follow if you want to be able to access your retirement money to be able to use it for business financing. You've got to run your business as a C corporation. So you are actually going to have 2 separate accounts. You're going to have a business bank account, a bank account in the name of your C corporation, where the money is ultimately going to be invested, and that could be your operating account going forward. You're also going to have a 401k account. So that is usually going to be like at a brokerage. So in that is where the money first rolls over to from your pre-existing account, like say your former employer plan. You can take a reasonable salary because again, you need to be working in the business. And once that business is generating income, you can use it. You can take a reasonable salary from your business. So that's something you could do with the rollover as business startup. Now with the solo 401k, you don't have to run your business through any type of formal legal entity. You could even be a sole proprietor. You could have a single member LLC. You could run your business as an S corporation. So that's one of the differences in terms of how you run your business. So with the solo 401k, many of our clients have their accounts at hundreds of different banks, different brokerages. You're going to have checkbook control over your money. The purpose really is investing or contributions, like I mentioned. But if you're making those investments, you're doing it through that 401k account. You're making those investments in the name of the 401k. So with the solo 401k, though, that has to be a passive investment. You cannot receive a commission for making that investment. You cannot receive compensation from that investment personally. So all of it's going back, any type of gain on that account is going back to your 401k to grow your retirement account. So please don't hesitate to ask questions in the chat again, and I'll be happy to field them. But let's keep going while in the meantime. So in terms of additional financing, many of our customers are using their solo 401, are using their ROBS 401k. They're using their retirement money along with an SBA loan or along with a business loan. And that's fine. So that C corporation that's funded with your retirement money, it is certainly free to go out there and get an SBA loan or a business loan or seller financing. I mean, the loan has to be in the name of the C corporation. So, and you are going to very likely, like if it's an SBA loan, you have to provide a personal guarantee, which is fine. So if you want to learn more about that, we actually have a lot of information on our website, and we've done videos, and we can help you get feedback as far as whether you can get an SBA loan. With the solo 401k, on the other hand, you can also use financing, but it has to be a different type of financing, a special type of financing. It's got to be what they call non-recourse financing. So, for example, if you want to invest your retirement money in real estate and you want to obtain a mortgage to do that, of course, the purchase of the real estate is going to be done in the name of the 401k. So there are specialty lenders that will lend money to your retirement account so that you can invest in that property. Now, the loan itself has to be non-recourse, meaning the lender is not going to have any recourse against you personally. So no personal guarantee. So if they're asking for your credit score, that's a red flag that this is not a non-recourse, because they shouldn't need your credit score because there's no recourse. There's no personal guarantee. Really, the only recourse of the lender on these types of loans is going to be the property itself. So the terms are different than you might get for a personal residential mortgage, right? They're going to want probably 40% down, different interest rates, shorter terms, et cetera, et cetera. So you can use non-recourse financing, but it's really a specialty lender, and we have resources on our website as far as lenders that offer that type of financing. So you can find that on our website, and we can get you that information you're looking for. Okay, great. So we got some good questions here, and that's actually the end of the substantive slides. So let's turn to the Q&A. So what is non-recourse financing? Can you give an example? So, and it looks like we answered that question. Yeah. So again, it's really just financing or a loan to your 401k, usually to invest in real estate. Another good question here. I have a checkbook IRA holding Bitcoins in a corporation. I also have an owner-only business. Can I set up a solo 401k, dissolve the corporation holding the Bitcoins, and move the Bitcoin to the solo 401k? Good question. So let's assume, I'm assuming here that you have, it sounds like you're effectively holding Bitcoin or cryptocurrency inside your IRA. So if that IRA is not a Roth IRA, if it's a Roth IRA, you can't transfer cash or assets to a solo 401k. But if it's not a Roth IRA as a starting point, then you can transfer assets or cash to the solo 401k. And you're saying it's not Roth. Okay, great. So you're also saying that you have a owner-only business. Presumably that's not the corporation, that's some other type of activity. You could be consulting or something to that effect. In terms of, so let's assume that you are eligible to set up a solo 401k. If yes, then yes, you can do an in-kind transfer to your solo 401k. It could be an in-kind transfer of the cryptocurrency itself, or it could be an in-kind transfer of the ownership and the stock of that corporation that holds the cryptocurrency. So you could even roll over, presumably you own your IRA owns 100% of the entity that holds the crypto. So you got two choices. You could dissolve the entity and have the crypto distributed up to the IRA and then roll over the IRA over to the solo 401k, or you could simply just roll over the ownership interest in that entity to the solo 401k. And of course, there's going to be, you're going to have to work with the IRA provider, because they're going to have to, and as part of our process, we handle that with our clients, but that's going to be a reportable event. Anytime you're moving assets or cash from an IRA to a solo 401k, that's reportable. So it's important that the IRA provider understands that it's a direct rollover, so that they report it as a non-taxable transfer. Good question. So we can field more questions. Please don't hesitate to ask. In the meantime, I'll just highlight that if you want to get more information about either of these products or the information that we talked about in this webinar, please don't hesitate to contact us at business@mysolo401k.net, or you can call us at 1-800-489-7571. You can ask questions in, if you're watching this as a recording, you can ask questions in the comments and we can answer those questions as well. So thank you so much for joining. We got a few more questions here in comments. Is a solo IRA the same as a solo 401k? I hear that terminology a lot. So really a solo 401k is not the same as an IRA. So a solo IRA, that could be both terms as a starting point are marketing terms. So they're industry jargon, in other words. So a solo 401k is really a retirement plan. It's a qualified plan. so it's really for a business. So that's why the starting point in terms of eligibility, like we talked about in a couple of slides back, is always that you got to have an owner-only business. So with a solo IRA, that could refer to just a regular IRA, like a rollover IRA or a traditional IRA. So anybody can set up a rollover IRA or traditional IRA. IRA stands for individual retirement account. You just have to be an individual to set up an IRA. Now with solo IRA, that could refer to IRA that's like a SEP IRA, which is also for someone who's self-employed. There's a lot of advantages of a solo 401k over a SEP IRA. For example, higher contributions, the ability to take a loan. You can't take a loan from an IRA. The ability to have checkbook control to invest in alternative investments, just to name a few off the top. But certainly those terms are not the same terms. So you want to, it's very important to use specific language when you're in this area. And that's why it's important to, work with companies like us to really understand everything, all the nuts and bolts. So hopefully that helps. So please don't hesitate to ask more questions. Thanks everyone again for joining. Please like this video. We really appreciate it if you could do that, and please subscribe for more videos like this. And we look forward to doing this again next week. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.